So welcome to East Academia. My name is Brian Madena, and today we are going to see how we can reduce plagiarism when it comes to documents. So there are two occasions whereby plagiarism comes about. First, when you copy directly from a source and paste on the document. So that's one instance of plagiarism. Or when you copy directly from a source and when writing your document you don't make significant changes. So that's also a situation whereby plagiarism occurs, or rather happens. So in most cases plagiarism is supposed to be less than 10%, but in strict literature plagiarism is supposed to be less than 3%. And I don't find it very difficult when it comes to writing a document from your own head instead of going somewhere, copying it and pasting, because one thing I will tell you is that what you're supposed to do and what will improve you as a writer is the fact that you can read a certain document and then keep away the document that you've read and start writing or answering the questions right from your own head. Of course you can make some little references and all that, but just to get the idea and not to use the exact words that have been used by the authors. So what I usually do, for me, when I read, I usually note down the main points or other ideas that I use to answer the prompt or the question that I'm supposed to reply to, and then having those main ideas or other terminologies listed, I sit down with my comp, open a Word document and start typing. Okay, and then I start typing, I write everything in my own words and I just make references from and I just look at the main points where that I've written in shorthand, and then just write them in my own words, or rather how I've understood them. And then at the end of that, because all these points came from a certain source, I put a citation showing that, okay, these ideas that I've written here are not originally mine, but I give credit to this and this person. So I put the citation there, and citations put them the right way. And one thing I'll tell you is that do not rush doing any kind of work, because most people will rush and end up doing things that are really not that serious, or things that cannot be submitted in the first place. So realize that this will first waste your time and energy, two, it will waste your effort, three, it gives you a bad reputation as a writer, because nobody would want to give you work if at all when you are given work you end up disappointing. Because you see, that again, like I'm saying, this kind of job is a job that usually it's a chain. Okay, so when one person makes a mistake down there, the person on top is affected, then it goes all the way till to the client. So that's why I'm saying you have to be very careful when it comes to search. And because of that, I'd like to say that these plagiarism is a thing that is taken very it is taken very serious. One thing, it is better you do not have plagiarism. It is better you fail. You can say that maybe the question was so difficult and all that, than finding yourself having a plagiarism or similarity index of more than 10%. Okay, well, what I'll say is that plagiarism is a very serious writing offense. In fact, it's one of the worst mistakes that any writer can do. So don't ever think about plagiarizing any document, because that alone is going to affect your reputation, and that alone can drive you out of this industry. So I'm going to share a report here. So this is a plagiarism report by Turnitin. As you can see, it has 3 parts. So this first part is, I think, it talks of the body, and then this second part here, it gives you the similarity indices. So what usually look mostly is this here, the similarity index, this one, and then this tells you that you copied 32% of these from internet sources, 14 publication, and 14% from student papers. And all these are things that are not slide. And the sources, if you want to see where that specific place, the specific place where that document was copied from, you can just click here and it will take you to this. So I'll just click there, and I'm told this document is trying to connect to, and we're going to see the source whereby whatever was copied came from. So that is one. So that is one that is there. So this is a place where, like, here, okay. So you'll find here, and when you go and detail and finding what that was, whatever you wanted, you'll definitely find it, but I don't have that time to do that at the moment. So second source, third source, okay. So it has been copied significantly from these sources, which means that, okay, work was done, but then the author, the person who was writing this report or this work was maybe in a rush or that, okay. So sometimes you might do a lot of research and get drenched with this and all that. You are tired and you're saying the work is too much, and you're complaining, oh, the work overload is too much. But you see, one thing I'll tell you is that you have to work smart. You don't need to work hard. Work smart, and by working smart, I mean that don't waste a lot of time in research. And in fact, most of these people do not want you to go outside what you already know. Or you are given some documents to read from, so just read exactly from those documents. Don't go outside from any other source. And if you go outside from any other source, go copy. Yes, maybe other sources have better information than whatever you are having or whatever you are given as a source. And what it means is that you can go copy and you can, but do not paste directly. Just write it in your own words. And this will include definitions, okay? This will include definitions. Like now, in a Turnitin report, this is a Turnitin report. In fact, let's look what's at the third part. Okay, third part, this one is used by instructors to grade, okay? So final grade, an instructor is going to put a grade here. He's going to put a grade here, and then he can give some general comments, okay, concerning the first page, second page, third page, and fourth page, okay? So it has three parts. So the body, the similarity index, the paper, the originality report, and the instructor's comments. So as you can see, there are various colors from these sources, 1, 2, 3. So each source is going to be identified with a unique color, and you can know. Like for example, say you wanted to reduce 7% of this, 14% of just plagiarism. That means when you change all the highlights in red, you're only going to reduce 14%, okay? But me, I would not want you to follow that one, because you might realize you've not done much of that plagiarism report after just removing 14%. It will be a little bit low, because that will take you to, I think, 27%, which is also too high, okay? And in fact, it gives you a lot of work. So the way I do it, and this is the easiest way, is what I'm going to try to share with you now, and I want you to understand it. And in other writings, in other reports, you're not supposed to submit anything that, when you just write, do not write anything that will give this similarity index. And one thing I've known, that if you write a paper on your own head, from your own head, you cannot get a very large similarity index, okay? So when the similarity index is about 40 or this one, this means that it gives you a lot of work, because you vested work already writing the paper, and then now you are given another work to reduce plagiarism. So you are like doing the work twice of what you would have done, and probably maybe you're not going to get anything more than what than what you are told. So it wastes your time, it wastes your energy, it gives you headaches, because thinking that you had submitted work and that work was done, then you're told the originality report is just too high. That tells you that things are not good, because still when you change this plagiarism or this similarity index, the number of words have to be the same. Like this document, it had I think 900 words. The minimum of it is supposed to be 900 words. So even if I'll just open the Word document, so even if I change or I remove the plagiarism, it means that I have to write 900 words again from my head. So you can see that there's too much time wastage, there's too much effort being put on the job. So these things you could avoid them when you are doing this work from the first time. So for me, I'll just answer this thing based on the questions, and I try to see if I've understood the main ideas. So I'll have to just write the main ideas from there, and I just note them down in a book, and then from the book, then now I think I can rewrite the work. Okay, so I think I'll just have to log in and see. Okay, so let me look at the similarity index, now the work. So plagiarism started from here 3. So you can see sometimes these highlights are a little bit blurred, but I know you will see this. So you can see all this is plagiarized content, plagiarized. So question 1 has some plagiarism, and I can see where that plagiarism comes from. So from here, so I can come to my Word document. So the plagiarism started from here. So now I just want to remove the highlighted sections. More than 99 over human activities, species, global warming. So until here, warming, ocean warming. That's what plagiarism was. So let me see. So I'll just come back until I see ocean warming. So here, and then I will look at this and count how many words are this. And one thing I'll tell you about plagiarism checkers, they usually give you the percentage based on the total number of words that you've written. So for example, these are 120 words. So 120 divided by 998. Let me see, these words contributed to how many? So I'll open my calculator here, or I can even open let me open this other calculator one, this basic one, so that you can see how much that section contributed. You can use either of these calculators, still you're going to get the same answer, but let me use this one, the one that is common. So these are 120 words of 998. So I will see, so it's definitely 120 divided by 998. So this resulted to 12% plagiarism. So when I change those words, I will go down with 12% plagiarism. Okay, so that means so the open ocean is important for many reasons. So I will just squeeze this one here, and then I will come up here and I will write the importance of the open oceans cannot be overlooked due to various reasons. Okay, and then it provides goods and services that influence health, the economy, and weather. Okay, the water in the oceans absorb more than half of the sun's heat, which helps to cool our environment. So the importance of the open oceans cannot be overlooked due to various reasons. Some of these reasons include some of these reasons directly contribute to the human health, and you can even go on, such as cooling the environment. Okay, cooling the environment, because you see, I'm doing this because the plagiarism checker, which it does, it looks at sequence. Like for example here, influence health, the economy, and weather. So the plagiarism checker, whenever it sees health, economy, and weather, it will tell you, this came from somewhere. Okay, so let me concentrate and see how I'm changing this first paragraph, and it will give you a way of, I just want to make this paragraph to be 120 words and so or more, but I will not take anything less, because when you write less and then you take this document to Grammarly, and maybe Grammarly cancels out some of your wordy sentences, then it becomes less than 998 words. It might be very difficult. So at the end of the day, I don't want to change the idea that is contained in this statement, but I just want to add words that can maybe reach to this word count that is needed. So the open ocean, for me, it provides goods and services that influence health and economy and weather. So they contribute to the human health, such as cooling environment. Okay, it has also been found, it has also been known that the open oceans affect the economies or the economics of the world. These are regions where ships can move freely while transporting a certain country's goods. In that way, they facilitate trade. Okay, so if you don't know, like now, I think I've made an assumption that they facilitate trade and all that. So, and I don't know what exactly an open ocean is. Assuming I can just come and I search what is an open ocean. Just Google open ocean and you will get a definition. Open ocean meaning. The pelagic zone is the area of ocean outside coastal areas. The open ocean lives over. The seafloor is not included in open oceans. The pelagic zone. Where does the open ocean begins? The oceanic zone is typically defined as the area of ocean lying beyond the continental shelf, such as, but ocean is often referred to the beginning where the water depth drops below 200 meters. Seaward coast into that. Okay, how much there is ocean? Why is this open ocean important? For many reasons. It provides goods and services that influence health, economy, and weather. The water in the ocean absorb more than heat. Now you can even see that this was copied directly from here, because this statement is what we have here. You can see. So that's why I'm saying the plagiarism checker cannot lie. And if you say that you are not copying directly, then it might be a lie. So I've already seen where this document was copied from without not going far. So these words here, from here, cooler environment. You see, these words are the ones that exactly here. The open ocean zone provides goods and services that influence health, economy, and weather. The water in the oceans absorbs half of the heat from the sun. They help cools the environment. Much of the water cycle evaporates from the ocean. The water cycle evaporates from the ocean. So you can see. So this was copy pasted directly. So you can see that this was copy pasted directly. That's why I'm saying plagiarism checkers do not lie. So now I've changed that. I will so the water in the ocean absorb more than half of the sun's facilitates trade. So I've talked about health, I've talked about economy, and now I want to talk about weather. The open oceans have an effect on the weather. Especially when it comes to the lowering of temperature during hot conditions. So during, I will say, high heat conditions instead of hot, but I know Grammarly can correct that, but I'll know. So during high heat conditions. Okay, the evaporation, so I'll say the evaporation of water in the open oceans can therefore lead to the evaporation of water in the open oceans is what leads to this cooling effect on Earth. So I think spellings, cooling effect on Earth. Okay, let me see if there's something else. Much of the water in the water cycles evaporate from, okay, cooling effect on Earth. This evaporation also contributes significantly to the world's water cycle. So I think I'm done with this statement that, okay, more than 99% empty space on Earth is open ocean. Algae that lives in the pelagic zone are responsible for much of the entire ocean's original food production and creates 30% of oxygen The atmosphere, growth, photosynthesis. Human activities affect marine time and marine habitats through overfishing, introduction of invasive locations, and ocean warming. So now we are remaining with this section to see if we can change it. So from that section, we'll say more than 99% of investment. Okay, on Earth, I can say large of the habitable areas on Earth are composed of the comprise of the open oceans. Okay. The open oceans as algae. The open oceans is a home to algae. That is quite beneficial to the sea. Algae serves as an original food, to fish, and provide the oxygen required and supply the oxygen requirement underwater. Okay, food productions underwater as a byproduct of photosynthesis. So you can see all this work is plagiarized, and we've seen where it's coming from. So you cannot submit such because you assume you've not done anything. So human activities affect marine life and marine inhabitants through overfishing, reaction of fishing, ocean pollution, ocean acidification, and ocean warming. So marine life can be directly affected with some of the human activities. These activities include overfishing, whereby by fishermen fish even the young fishes. Okay, so that is a thing I can see. And then the other one was introduction of invasive species. So I'll come here, see some species that humans introduce in the ocean. Some species that humans introduce in the oceans are quite what will I say, are quite dangerous to other fishes. Are quite dangerous to the other fishes. This is because they attack them and use them for food. Okay, and then I can take introduction of ocean pollution, acidification, and ocean pollution also poses a great risk in the open oceans. So there have also been some instances of ocean acidification through the discharge of effluents so the discharge of industrial effluents and domestic sewages. Yes, so that and if you want to know where this comes from, you can just copy paste it and come to Google. I'll open a new tab and we'll see where that came from and just paste open oceans. So this algae that lives in responsible for much of the regional food production, the entire organisms that live 50% of oxygen. So you can see that most of that content it's here. So that part was also copied from this place. That's what I'm saying. These plagiarism checkers, they do not lie. Now if you want a plagiarism, if you see that plagiarism checkers are giving you a certain percentage of plagiarism, you need to ask yourself why, because you are the one with the problem and not the plagiarism. The plagiarism is not a software that can really hate you for no reason. Okay, so let's proceed to question 2. When you come to question 2, so first of all I will look at the content that I've written. Okay, and I can count. Let me first correct some errors. I have a keyboard that some of my letters are not working, So I'll have to correct these petty mistakes. Algae, like I have written algae. So byproduct is one word. Directly affected. Fishermen, I wanted to say fishermen. Overfishing. So this should be overfishing, yes, like that. Some species, okay. Ocean pollution also poses a great risk. So one thing I know is that I've written more than 120 words that were originally there. So how many words are these? Oops, 234 words. So you can see the word count here. So these are 234. Down here on the bottom left, you can see my cursor here, 234 words. And when I come here, I see these were only 120 words. So I will wrap those words, and then I will combine this back to this document. So I'll just combine, because this was one paragraph. So I will join it there. Out on there. So then let me see if then now we come and look at question 2, and we see where plagiarism. I am amazed how together engineers have conceived a mechanism that filters out the articles ships to show them for recycling. So this part has been plagiarized when it comes to 8. Yes, it's only, yes, so it is this section here. Let me just highlight it well. You cannot see, but it's here. Let me see if I can start another program here that will help us see properly. I'm searching for the program. It's here, my Epic pen. So as we wait for that one to load, we can see if at all everything is okay. So I'll pause a little bit.